Hello and good morning to all of you. I hope all of you are doing well. So in today's class, we will be trying to focus on data science lifecycle process. Now, data science lifecycle process basically tries to identify and place the various activities that are performed in association with data science. Now, let us try to go into the activities in sequence. So the first activity that is performed is called as business understanding. Likewise, the second activity that is performed is called as data mining. The third activity that is performed is called as data cleaning. And then we have data exploration, then we have feature engineering, then we have predictive modeling, followed by data visualization. Now, let us try to go into the activities in detail. So, let us try to understand the first activity that is called as business understanding. So, whenever you are trying to understand business, what you tend to do is you tend to formulate the questions. Questions that, if answered, will lead to the derivation of the objectives. So, business understanding is concerned with building up questionnaires that will eventually lead to objectives that should be attained from a business process. So that is the ultimate objective of business understanding. So here, what we tend to do is we tend to build up all possible objectives that are to be attained from a business model. Now, once the set of objectives have been defined, what we need to do is we need to collect all relevant information or all relevant data related to the pursuit of the objectives. So that is what data mining is all about. So data mining is a phase that is purely dedicated to gathering and scrapping the data that is required in order to attain the various objectives that are specified in the business understanding phase. Now, once the data has been mined and meaningful data has been drawn from the big data set, now what we need to do is we need to clean the data. Now, the objective of data cleaning phase is to ensure that all possible problems that may be potentially associated with the data is addressed too, like, say for an example, missing data, for example, inconsistent data, for example, anomalous data. So what we need to do is we need to eradicate all of this. We need to eradicate inconsistencies, we need to eradicate anomalies, we need to eradicate incompleteness. So once the data has been prepared or cleaned, what we need to do is we need to explore the data. Now, data exploration is an essential part of data science, where what we tend to do is we tend to formulate hypothesis based on the way how we have analyzed the data. So, analysis of data allows us to determine trends in the data that may be used in order to build up hypotheses that may be approved or disapproved at a later point in time. So that is what is data exploration all about. Now, after data exploration has been executed, we need to move on to feature engineering. Now, as we are talking about, and we have been talking about domain in the previous classes as well, what we need to do is we need to, at every step of the process, we should be capable of extracting the feature points of the business model. So these feature points will not only be essential for the current business model, but may be of use and reference in the future. So it's very much essential for us to feature engineer or engineer the various features or select important features, right? Okay, and construct a more meaningful representation of the business. Now, after that, we have predictive modeling. So, predictive modeling basically means the ability to draw accurate outcomes that may enhance business, that may enhance productivity, that may enhance profitability, that may enhance operational efficiency. Altogether, it will lead to the benefit of the organization. So, that is what is called as predictive modeling. So, here, what we tend to do is we tend to predict about predict about all possible aspects that are there associated with the business. And then we have data visualization. We have mechanism for representing the data, which can be communicated for perusal as well as perceivable, for building business future business models. So these are the various notable activities that are performed in case of data science lifecycle process. Now let us try to go into the data science lifecycle process in a greater detail. So let us try to identify what are the activities that are performed. First one is called as acquisition. Second one is called as cleaning. Third one is called as use or reuse, and then fourth one you have is publish, and fifth one you have is preserve or destroy. Now whenever you are trying to perform all of these activities, we need to ensure that the activities perform certain ethical values, it abides by certain regulatory policies, right, again related to a particular domain. So that means it has to address to all necessary environmental concerns. So I have taken this particular representation from one of the standard literature because it was capable of expressing the data science lifecycle process in greater detail, right, in a more precise manner. So let us try to identify the activities that are performed during acquisition. So whenever you're trying to acquire data, so you may create, you may capture, you may gather it from various sources like lab, fieldwork, survey, devices, simulation, and many more. So creation basically means you use devices that are capable of generating data, right, again, or devices that are capable of sensing data, right, again, or you use references to some others data that has been already captured, like from lab, from fieldwork, from survey, from devices, simulation, many more. Then once the data has been captured, created, or gathered, what we need to do is we need to clean the data. Here, cleaning basically refers to organizing, filtering, knotting, and eradicating inconsistencies. So these are the activities that are involved in data cleaning. Now, use and reuse. So now, once the data has been prepared as per the requirement of the objectives, so you need to analyze the data, you need to mine the data, you need to model the data, and then you need to derive much more data. So just whenever you are trying to build up models, so subsequently it may lead to generation of more data. You need to visualize, you need to decide, you need to act, and you need to drive devices, instruments, and computers based on the way how you've analyzed the data. Now once the analysis is over, right, again, and the data has been used in order to perform various operations, so it can be published. So published basically means a mechanism to share your findings. So you can share your data, you can share your code, you can share your workflow, disseminate knowledge, aggregate knowledge, right, collect, create portals for database, and many more, or for sharing code, and couple it with other literature so to enhance the representation of the data. Then eventually preserve or destroy it, so you can store it for future references, so they can preserve, replicate, or ignore, or you can compress, or you can curate, or eventually you can destroy whatever you have created. So just these are the various steps that are performed in data science lifecycle process. Now let us try to move on with the roles and responsibilities of data scientists. As we've learned in the previous class as well, so data scientists are the personals who are given with the responsibility of gathering or assigned with the responsibility of gathering data, cleaning it, preparing it, analyzing it, and drawing inferences from it, right? Okay, so that it can be used in order to make certain quality decisions for improving the entire business model. So, data scientists are big data handlers. As you see here, we have specified in a better manner. So, data scientists are big data handlers who are capable of gathering and analyzing large set of structured and unstructured data. So, a data scientist role combines, as we have already learned about it, computer science, statistics, and mathematics. So it's very essential for a data scientist to have a good grip on the domain, the mathematical concepts, and the programming concepts. So they are responsible for analyzing, processing, and modeling data so that it can be interpreted in order to generate certain valuable results in terms of actionable plans for the organizations and industry for betterment of the business. So data scientists are analytical experts who utilize their skills in both technology as well as social sciences to find trends and manage data. So they use industrial knowledge, contextual knowledge, and the very set of existing assumptions to uncover solutions to the business challenges. So data scientists works or activities typically involves working with unstructured, semi-structured, or structured data. So this we have already learned in the previous class. Now, in addition to that, data scientists are also charged with communication or communicating complex ideas and making data-driven organizational decisions. So this is a very important pressure point that you need to focus on. That data scientists are also capable of communicating the business ideas and capable of making data-driven organizational decisions. Now, experienced data scientists and data managers are also tasked with developing companies' best practices from cleaning to processing and storing data. So, this is also very important work assignment that may be given to data scientists. That is building up best possible work practices like standard operational procedures, right? Okay, from cleaning to processing and storing of data. So that is the role of the data scientist, right? Okay. So data scientist performs everything, right? Okay. Data scientist performs uh, data collection, data and preparation, data analysis, drawing inferences, making decisions, right? Leading the team, leading the understanding the market. So just see all the operations that may be related with the business and the business domain may be of interest to the data scientist. Now, some of the skills that are necessary to become a data scientist. So, first one is very good. So, it's programming. So, a data scientist should have a very good grip on programming skills. He should have adequate knowledge about machine learning techniques, right, and the evolved concepts like neural networks and deep neural networks or so and so forth, right? Okay. And then we have data visualization and reporting. So this is a very essential skill because until unless you do not have a mechanism for or you do not have a sound ability to report and to visualize data, no matter how good your analytical abilities are, if you cannot express, then it would be very difficult for you to communicate to the relevant stakeholders. So this is very much important. So data visualization and reporting. And then you have risk analysis. So risk analysis is also very essential because you should be capable of identifying risk. You should be capable of determining or prioritizing and determining the damage causing potential of the risk. And you should be well acquainted with all the risk containment plans that are there so that you are capable of in time taking corrective measures for efficiently managing the risks. So statistics and mathematics, as we have already said, this is an essential feature that has to be addressed, or skill set that has to be attained, like linear algebra and various statistical tools. Okay, right. And effective communication skills, so this is also very essential because, as I've already said, until unless you are not able to communicate your solution, a business solution to the customer may not be convinced, and eventually it may lead to failure of your business model. So that is very much important. So you need to have very good communication skill, right? Again, and you should have very good software engineering skills as well. So you should be well acquainted with all the phases that are involved in engineering a software product. You should be having a very good grip on data mining, cleaning, and munching, right? Again, and you should have a very good research background, right? Again, and you should have adequate knowledge about various big data platforms and cloud tools, right? Subsequently, and you should have knowledge about data warehousing and structures as well, right? So these are some of the essential features or skills that are necessary to become a data scientist. So you need to have very good programming skill, you need to have machine learning knowledge about machine learning techniques, you need to have a mechanism for, or you should have knowledge about way how data can be represented and visualized, risk analysis, there's risk management. You should have knowledge about mathematical approaches. You should have very good communication skill. You should have a sound software engineering skill. You should have knowledge about data mining, cleaning, and merging. Right? Again, you should have a sound. Right, in the research background, you should have good knowledge about big data platforms. Likewise, you should have knowledge about warehouse and the various data management techniques and structures, right? So these are some of the essential skill set that are expected from data scientists. So let us try to identify some of the responsibilities that are assigned to data scientists, right? So first one is solving business problems through directed or undirected research and framing open-ended industrial questions. So this is very much essential, right? Again, right? You see, so here eventually data scientists are expected to provide solution to the problem, right? Again, either to through a direct research or indirect research, right? And frame open-ended industrial questions because as we've already learned in the first phase of data science life cycle, what we tend to do is we tend to frame questions for determining the objectives that are to be attained from a business model, right? So this is very much essential. So data scientists are assigned with the activity of providing solution to the business problem and framing open-ended industrial question. Second one is to extract huge amount of structured and unstructured data. So until unless you do not have adequate amount of data to work with, it may be difficult for the data scientist to come up with meaningful conclusions. So, in order to come up with meaningful conclusions, you need to have sufficient amount of data from different data sources, may it be structured, semi-structured, or unstructured data. Now, as there are different sources, so we'll not go into the sources we have been discussing in the class, right? Okay. Employ sophisticated analytical methods, right? Okay, based on machine learning and statistical methods to prepare data for use in prediction and prescription modeling. So this is very much important. Right again. So what we need to do is we need to have a sound knowledge about various analytical methods and various machine learning tools and statistical methods, so that data can be used for prediction and prescription modeling. Right. Next activity is to thoroughly clean the data, eradicate all possible problems that may be associated with data. So this is also very much important, right? Again, then perform exploratory data analysis. This is very much important. This is one of the phase that we have discussed in the data science lifecycle process, where what we tend to do is we tend to formulate hypotheses based on the consequence or based on the result of the analysis process. Right. Okay. So here, what we tend to do is we tend to determine trends in the data which can be used, which can be perceived as a prospect for opportunity, right? So this is very much important. Next one is discovering new algorithms to solve problems and build programs to automate repetitive work. So this is very much important. So the ability of data scientists is also judged on how innovative data scientists are in providing solution to the problem. So a data scientist should be well equipped with not only programming skills, but one has to have a very sound understanding of the various ways in which algorithms can be represented in order to provide solution to the problem. Or one should have a good innovative skill in order to provide solution to the problem, right? Then after that, effective communication is also one of the responsibility of data scientists, right? Okay, so one should be capable of communicating whatever predictions and findings that he has made to the relevant stakeholder, not only to the IT department but to the relevant stakeholder, so that corrective or adaptive actions can be initiated. Then eventually recommend cost effective changes to existing procedures and strategies. So this is also very much important. So this calls for a degree of innovation, right? Okay, so one should be capable of recommending periodically what may be the necessary changes that may be brought about in the existing procedures and strategies to refine the business. Now, these are some of the technical skill sets that are required. So one has to have good knowledge about programming languages like Python, C, Java, R, MATLAB as relational database management systems, right? Again, like SQL, Scala, machine learning techniques such as natural language processing, classification, clustering, deep learning, data visualization kits like Python, Java. You have different libraries for it. Big data platforms like MongoDB, Oracle. Uh, so Microsoft Azure is there. Cloudera is there. So you see, these are some of the technical skills that are essential for a data scientist. But you need to remember what are the basic activities that are to be performed by the data scientist in order to maximize the business objective. Right. So in today's class, what we have learned about is we have learned about the data science lifecycle process. We've learned about various phases that are there in data science lifecycle process. So this also I've taken it from some of the standard literature, right? And so we have seen that there are 7 identifiable phases in it, right, that are capable of addressing different concerns of business. And we have learned about data science lifecycle process in greater detail, where we have acquisition, cleaning, use, reuse, publish, and then we have preserve and destroy. Then we acquainted ourselves to some of the important rules that a data scientist has to perform. Then we moved on to some of the necessary skill sets to become a data scientist. Then we discussed some of the essential responsibilities of data scientist. And then we visited some of the technical skills that are actually required by the data scientist. So in the next class, we'll continue with data science. So till then, have a very good day and goodbye.